shoot. Got to cut my light on. Hang on real quick. There we go. There we go. Oh, man. This was a disappointing one. Welcome to another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host, Derek Stevenson. And on today's episode, we're going to address Kentucky's third loss at home in a row. Man, I think they said during the broadcast that this hadn't happened since like the 70s or something, like maybe the 60s. Like, I can't remember exactly what he said. Did y'all hear what he said? When's the last time Kentucky lost 3 in a row at Rupp Arena? Oh, man, I'm starting to get a little worried. Embarrassing. What the F was that final play? You know, I don't got an answer for you on that one. That was a wild one, and to be honest, I feel like Shepard kind of messed the pass up a little bit, but that was just a weird play. I feel like I don't know what Cal was thinking with that one, man. That one was a little shocking to me. Where was Wagner and Dillingham for nearly the entire second half? I don't know what was going on. Let me check and see how many minutes they actually played. Cause that was kind of weird. Let me see. Let me see what the actual numbers was real quick. I don't know why I can't pull up the box score. Can't pull up the box score right now. But yeah, that was strange, man. I was wondering what was going on. I mean, I know Shepard was playing good, so I get it. Shep had to be in the game, and I guess maybe he, just was going with Reeves for the experience. But I don't know why Dillingham wasn't getting any minutes. I mean, I guess maybe he was trying to work DJ back into it just because he was coming off injury. So maybe he didn't want to bring him right back in and have him playing a high amount of minutes right in his first game back. Cal lost this one for us. Yep, I ain't gonna lie. I I feel like I've always been a big Cal supporter. I would put myself in that category. I would even say that you know, initially when people were starting to get upset with him when we stopped getting to the Final Four and stuff, I was still defending Cal, like, because I just felt like eventually the mission would work itself out. I felt like we could all have what we wanted. He could have kids going to the NBA and we could get some Final Fours and some championships. But now I'm starting to feel differently. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm starting to see where a lot of people may have already seen this coming before I did, or maybe I just, subconsciously didn't want to accept what I already knew. But I think he has got to change his style now. That lob play, just run the offense. Yeah, like I feel like he might have to just put this dribble drive offense to the side, and he might have to start actually doing some real coaching. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Like, I know he's a Hall of Famer, and I know that he had successful teams before he came to Kentucky when he didn't have as much talent as he had here. But I feel like even though these guys are young, like this team right here, I feel like yes, you might not be able to coach them up too much on defense. It might not be nothing you could do about that. But offensively, I feel like if you was to put some plays in and have guys running offense with the way these guys can shoot from the three into the mid-range game, I feel like you should easily be able to score points consistently. I don't think you should have too many moments where you just can't get good shots or you got guys having to try to make one-on-one plays. And I feel like his offense is just basically guys are trying to drive to the basket, and when they drive into the basket, he's just hoping that they can throw an alley oop to one of the bigs, and the bigs just ain't getting free like that. Now I do gotta give a dude Thero much like praise and much credit tonight. A dude was playing his ass off. Like he was the one that was running around making plays, getting tip dunks and stuff like that. You know, he was bringing the energy that we need. But the rest of them just can't. They can't make themselves available when the guards is going to the basket. So he might have to really, and I know he probably won't, but he probably needs to get away from that dribble drive and start, creating some plays for these guards to come off some screens and get some open mid-range jumpers and stuff like that. Tennessee fan here. How hot is Calipari's seat right now? Um, I think it's pretty hot for most fans. I think we didn't see this coming with this team. I thought we felt like this was going to be the team that was going to bring us back. And I mean, Kentucky ain't really fell off. Kentucky's still a quality, they're a legit top 25 team every year. But I think we felt like this was going to be the team that was going to put us back at that cream of the crop. Like we was going to be top 5 the whole entire year at the least. I think we all thought at some point we was gonna be number 1 and we was gonna maintain that for a little while. And we struggling bad. And I mean, who knows you know, how many more games we may even drop if we don't fix this defense. And I just I didn't see it coming. Like, especially in the beginning of the season, like they were playing so good. They was doing all the things that you wanted the team to do. They was moving the ball. They wasn't having a whole lot of turnovers. Um, and the thing with a lot of the turnovers that I see now, I feel like a lot of the turnovers that I see them make now are lazy passes. And I feel like it's because I think they just get out there and get stagnant sometimes. And Calipari, that's when I think Calipari needs to start doing some coaching, when he needs to start running some plays so that he takes the thinking out of out of their hands at some point and just have them running and moving and doing specific things to get them some shots. So right now I feel like I'm starting to kind of turn on Cal just a little bit, and I don't really want to do it because I think he's a great coach, but it's getting frustrating watching this team right here. Let me see. How can this team be the one to lose 3 straight in a row? BJ Boston's team didn't even do that. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. Of all the teams that he's had at Kentucky, I didn't think this would be one to do that. And I'm not saying they the best team that he's had at Kentucky. Even I know the season's only a little bit more than halfway through, but I don't even know if where I would rank this team at this point, because they just dropped a whole lot more games than I anticipated at this point. I'm thinking we're gonna finish the season with less than 5 losses. That's what I'm thinking. So this is getting hard for me, man. This is getting hard because I just feel like a lot of guys, they just, I don't know what it is. They just not in the right place. They making bad decisions. They just can't play defense. Like it's getting frustrated to watch. First half, all we did was ISO Rob over and over and over. Yeah, I feel like it was a whole lot of ISO ball. I feel like even though they scored 85 points, which is pretty good, obviously, they shot the 3 ball a little bit worse than they normally do, and their field goals was down a little bit, but they only had 10 assists, and usually when they playing really good, they usually have about 20 plus assists and low turnovers. And a lot of that is just because it was too much ISO ball. Like when they just got guys standing around trying to make plays off the dribble, and they got a few guys that can do it. Like Rob can do it sometimes, DJ can do it sometimes, Reed can do it sometimes, and Reeves can do it a little bit. But still, it kind of just slows down the game for the other people. It has guys standing flat-footed, not ready to react. They not moving. They not diving to the basket. And like I said, shouts out to Thero. Thero was doing it a little bit. He was probably the most active in the whole entire game on both ends of the court. And if we could just get the effort that he brings from a lot of the other guys, we could be good. But it just seems like we don't get that effort from everybody. We don't get it from enough guys in one game. And, like we've been saying it game after game after game, like the big men get sealed off so much and they give up so many layups at the basket. And it's just frustrating to see, if a team is just on fire and they shooting jumpers and they hitting, sometimes it just really ain't nothing you could do. But when you see them just giving up layup after layup after layup, that's hard to watch, man. It's the help defense is just not seeing the game develop. When it's almost like they focusing so hard on staying in front of their man because they get beat so much that they not paying attention to what else is happening. And there was a couple of times where I remember, like, I think somebody took a dude Theodore off the dribble and they didn't get around him, but they got deep underneath the basket and he didn't really want to foul, so he just kind of tried to like stand his ground, but no help defense came. And it's just frustrating because when you see the great teams, somebody would have come and erased that. Some of these other Kentucky teams, we had guys that would have been all over that type of stuff. So it's kind of tough to watch and just see the other players not communicating well and not knowing when to help and when to stay home. It's really frustrating. Heard you guys definitely have the talent to get it done. They just need to figure out, like you said, 3-and-D. Yeah, they talented. Even for them being so young, they have talent to play against any team in the country. But with them being young, they also are more prone to make mistakes. They are also more prone to be out of position, um, to be passing the ball lazy, to not crash the glass. All the fundamental stuff that they probably have not had to really deal with over the last several years from being so talented. Now, when you get to this level where everybody's good, they got to start remembering to use the fundamentals along with the talent and the gifts that they have if they want to become better, complete basketball players. And right now, they just missing all of that. Does Kentucky figure it out come March? I don't know yet. I don't know. I hope so. But I'm each game when I see this type of stuff happening, I don't know if they can win 5 games in a row. Like it's but the good thing about it is there's not really too many dominant teams out there. So I think a lot of it is gonna depend on seeding. But if Kentucky don't start winning these games now, they may have a bad seed and then they're gonna have to play tough competition in every single game. And you want to get one of the top 3 seeds so that you can at least get 1 or 2 easy games. You don't have to start off playing good competition right out the gate. Um, so this last little stretch is going to be key to see if they can make any noise in March. But right now it's looking bad. I gotta just be honest. We missed Mitchell bad this time. Yeah. Um, they definitely need Mitchell. Like I said, sometimes it's not even for like scoring or defense. It's just more for like decision making, more for just being poised and not panicking, like those type of things. Maybe he can see something on the court that he could communicate to one of the other players to help them get in position or see the right play develop. That's the type of stuff that we definitely need from some of the older players out there. So we definitely miss Mitchell badly, man. And it just kind of sucks that we never really have a full strength team. Like we still have yet to have all the players available. Um, it's good for some of the other guys because they get a chance to play where they may not get to play as many minutes. But we need all of our options to be successful. We need everybody. Because sometimes when guys don't got it going, you need to be able to bring some other people in and not have a drop off. And without us having Mitchell, we definitely have a drop off because Mitchell usually pretty consistently going to give you somewhere close to 10 and 5. Um, and he has capability obviously to do better than that, but we at least can depend on that. Where was Rob and DJ in the second half? Yeah, that's what we was talking about a little bit earlier. I have no clue. Like I said, I think maybe he might have been trying to work DJ back into condition, where he ain't played in a while because of his injury. Maybe that's why he's just trying to slowly but surely get him back into game shape. I have no idea where or why they wasn't getting to play. What was that last play? Yeah, that last play. Oh man, that last play. That's a hard way to go out. And like I said, I always been a Cal supporter. But what can I say when people are like he's a terrible coach and he doesn't know X's and O's? What can you say when you see that type of stuff happen? And I know some of that, it's not all his fault because even if he draws up something, it still has to be executed by the players. But I just feel like at that particular time, that just wasn't what we needed right then. And you know, of course, we what they call it, couch quarterback in there right now. So I know it's in hindsight, it's easy to say that was dumb, and if it would have worked, then we would have been celebrating. But it just seemed like such a bad decision. I will say the defense did seem slightly better tonight. Maybe it was just Thero. I think it was just Thero, to be honest with you. Um, I do think it was just Thero. I think everybody else played about the same quality of defense that they normally play. Bradshaw, he got caught in some funny positions a whole lot. And I hate to say it because I think Bradshaw is eventually going to be a nice NBA player, but he just ain't strong enough for the SEC competition right now. And a lot of the times he's unplayable to Cal because just cannot keep himself in a good position to defend. There's a couple times I've seen him trying to defend the guy and he's getting turned around backwards. He's having to push too much. Um, so like there's just, and even Big Z, man, I think offensively Big Z could help, but he ain't really bringing much to the table defensively. A couple times he looked lost out there. So I think guys they just making so many mistakes on defense. It's hard to play some of them. Anyenzo is the best that we got because even though he makes pretty much the same mistakes as the other ones, but he will block a shot here and there. He is gonna get in the way. And sometimes I wish these guys would just make some hard fouls. Like I'm not saying try to hurt nobody, but I mean you got 5 fouls. Like use some of them, like and make them count. Especially if you're getting out of position. Like I feel like they trying not to foul, and because they don't want to get taken out of the game. But man, you're getting taken out of the game anyways because you're not playing good. So use some of them fouls. I think. Uh, I've been always been a Cal supporter, but is he on the hot seat now? I think so. Because I think it's people like me that now I'm starting to defend him less than I did before. Normally I would defend him at all cost. Uh, I because he has some built-in excuses. Like he's always going to be able to say, "Well, my team is young." Yeah, we get it. Is that a legitimate excuse? Yeah, it is a legitimate excuse, but it is still an excuse. Because now with the transfer portal, you don't have to necessarily have a young team. Like you can go out and get some more experienced players. So if you continue to choose to go after 5 to 6 freshmen every year, and you have a young team, that's by your own choice. So you're gonna have to deal with the consequences of that. And I think I think a lot of the fans are pretty fed up at this point. Ole Miss is up next, and they aren't soft. And that's the main thing about Kentucky is Kentucky just plays soft. I don't think they are soft. As far as like, I think they try to compete. I think they want to be great. Um, I don't think they're scared, but just physically they are uh, inferior to a lot of teams that they play. So I think they look extremely soft out there because they always getting pushed around. They always out of position. Um, you know, people's taking the ball away from them. So definitely, I definitely think they play soft for sure. It's time to fire Cal. He's lost his touch. Yeah, unfortunately, it is gonna be hard to fire him just because we owe him so much money. But if he don't, and here's the thing, I just don't know if he will change. But I think he should though. I think at this point, like just what he's doing just ain't working no more. And I don't know if it ever will again because I don't know if the level of freshmen that you can get now are going to be good enough to win you a championship as freshmen. 2 or 3 years later, if you can keep some of these guys, like if you could keep 3 or 4 of these dudes and they can give you 2 to 3 years, I think you can win a championship. But if they're gonna be coming to Kentucky for 1 year and then going to the NBA, or let's be honest, going to the G League, because I think every single player on Kentucky's team this year that goes to the draft will play in the G League for the majority of their rookie season. I don't think any of them would be able to give an NBA team quality minutes right now. In the future, some of them could potentially be starters or quality role players, I think. But I don't think any of them would be better off playing in the NBA next year than they would at Kentucky. They all should come back. If they all came back, I think, Calipari, even with the way he coaches, could make a strong run with them. But if he's going to be coaching freshmen, I think he's got to change it up because this just ain't going to work with freshmen. Lineups were horrible. 4 minutes. Rob was 4 minutes in the second half is unacceptable. Yeah. Yeah, we've been trying to figure out what was up with that. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. I don't know why I can't see I can't find the box score, but yeah, that's weird that you know, he had him on the bench like that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, the only thing I can think of with DJ is maybe he's just trying to work him back into condition coming off the injury, but I have no idea, why Rob didn't get any minutes because it wasn't like, I know, you know, Shepard played pretty good, but it ain't like, nobody else was really going crazy out there, like to where Rob couldn't got fit in the game. So I don't know what was up with that. Was Jay Wright buttering us up in case something don't work out for Cal? um, I would like to say that Jay Wright is really retired, but Kentucky is one of those jobs, man, where I feel like if it becomes available, I think a whole lot of coaches that might be saying they ain't interested or saying they retired, I think Jay Wright would definitely take a meeting with Kentucky for sure. Um and a lot of people like Jay Wright, so I think he would be like a splash landing. I think Jay Wright's one of those coaches that, because a lot of times what people say is, well, if we get rid of Cal, who we gonna replace him with? And to be honest with you, that's a good question because I really don't know who you could replace him with. But I do feel like Jay Wright is one of those guys that if they replaced Cal with Jay Wright, I think the majority of the fan base would be cool with seeing how that plays out. And I think Kentucky is one of those schools where I get it. Like, it's hard to win championships. But I think if you go too many years without making a splash, Kentucky fans are going to be ready to get rid of you. And I think Calipari is getting as close to that line as he can because this team is the team that we thought was going to bring us back. So if he messes this one up, and it is, that's what it's looking like right now. If this team don't at least get to the Elite Eight, I think Kentucky fans are going to be really upset. It's going to be tough to get them back on his side, I believe. And I might be all the way gone too if he don't at least get to the Elite Eight with these guys. If he get to the Final Four with him, I'm cool. I'm gonna shut up for a little bit. I'm gonna give him a little bit more of a leash and let him do his thing for a little bit. But if he don't at least get to the Elite Eight, man, I'm gonna be with him. I'm gonna be with those fans that are getting fed up. Z getting that rebound and throwing the ball straight to the guy under the basket was the moment I said game over. And there was a few times when they made some mistakes or some lazy passes, and I was just like, man, what's going on, man? Like I just feel like their head just they had, and I guess this is just what you get when you have young players. They just have these moments where they just panic or they just you know they not processing stuff correctly and they making these weird mistakes and that, but that those are the type of mistakes that make you feel like, well, we can't win. Freshmen just ain't gonna be good enough because if they playing the game like this and making these type of mistakes, then you gotta expect that that's what's gonna happen in March, and we're gonna end up throwing some games away doing that type of stuff. So you know, I'm really starting to feel funny right now, man. I need them to show me something in the next couple games. I need them to get back to scoring a lot of points. I need them to play some better defense. Because I'm starting to get really worried. This team is too talented for this. They are talented. That's why it's so it's so weird to see these athletic, talented dudes be so garbage on defense. Like that's strange to me that these guys can't play defense no better than that. Like who would have expected that, man? Like you know, 3 7-footers all soft. Yep. I feel like Anyenzo is not soft, but I feel like Anyenzo doesn't really know the game that well, and he don't know how to get positioned properly. I don't think he's necessarily soft. I think he just the other two play soft though. Yeah, they do. They definitely do. Dillingham needs to go on ahead and declare. See, I think Dillingham definitely is going to declare. I think a few of them are going to declare, but I think all of them need to come back. I don't think none of them could start in the NBA. I don't even think none of them could do what Casey Wallace is doing in the NBA, which is coming off the bench and giving 6 points a game. I don't even think any of these guys can do that. I think they all would be better off coming back to Kentucky. And I think if they all did, I think with, adding a couple more pieces, I think they could win the championship next year. But I just don't know if they can do it this year. Go ahead and pay Dillingham $1.5 million to come back. Yep, they need to do that with a few of them. They need to go on and pay Shepard to come back. They need to pay him because they just gonna go to the G League and be playing in a little arena somewhere in front of a few thousand people, and they will be better served playing at Kentucky, competing in the SEC again, playing on national TV, and then going pro because they gonna all next year is gonna be I ain't gonna say a complete waste for them, but next year is just gonna be basically them trying to develop on their own because none of them is gonna be contributing to an NBA team next year. The entire coaching staff needs to go. Hey, that's what everybody's feeling like. That is what everybody is starting to feel like, and I can't, I can't speak to the contrary because I'm starting to feel like that as well. I'm starting to get on this get rid of Cal train. I'm starting to feel it. Like they got to show me something in the next couple of weeks because I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see a championship team right now. I see a talented team that if they polished up, they could become a championship team, but I just don't see it right now. Third straight loss at Rupp, 1966. Yeah, we was talking about that earlier. I couldn't remember if they said it was the 70s or the 60s. 1966 is crazy. And like we was talking about, that's of all the teams that would mess this up, we didn't think it was going to be them. So, that it's real unfortunate, to be honest. Kyle is not on the court. He can't play the game for him. Yeah, That's true. You gotta put some of it on Cal, I think, because I feel like he's not giving them the best opportunity to thrive. And I feel like the dribble drive, I feel like he's gonna have to learn to construct specific plays to get specific people shots at certain points in the game and at certain spots on the court to make them more efficient players, because I just don't think this is a team full of guys that can just get shots anywhere they want on the court. They got one or two of them that can do it, but not a whole lot. So I think, especially with our big men not really being able to be in position a lot correctly, so when we drive to the hole, we don't really get those alley oop plays and stuff as much as I think he wants, or that's what he designed his offense for. We don't really get that. So I think, yeah, I don't think he's playing this right. I think he needs to switch up his whole offense, but I don't think he will. Rob definitely will be contributing to an NBA team, and Reed would too. I just, for some reason, I don't think so. And what I mean contributing is, like, I think, like in this year's draft, I'm pretty sure every player except for maybe like three of them went to the G League at some point. And if you really look at the ones that's contributing, you only really got like two or three guys that's contributing. And like I said, I put Case and Wallace in the contributing category, but he's only really averaging 6 points off the bench for Oklahoma City. And I just feel like I ain't sure if anybody from Kentucky can do that next year. I think eventually they all be solid players, but I feel like they would be better coming back, developing one more year at Kentucky, and then going to the NBA. I think it would speed up the process for them to actually get on the court. But who knows? I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong about that. On the real, we didn't have Trey, so I didn't feel too bad about this loss. Yeah, we definitely need Trey too. We definitely need Trey. Um, I I get what you're saying, because we still haven't, had a full roster. So I understand what you're saying, but I feel like we just lost some games that we still could have won even without full strength. But we definitely need a trade back. Huge difference from when we played UNC. Yep, totally different team. Um, Rob's game is built for the league. He needs to be in space. UK lost his floor spacing. Now I agree with you. I think Rob has an NBA game. I do, even though I'm saying that I don't think he'll contribute next year. Like, if you look at my track record on my show, like, I love Rob. Rob was my favorite recruit. Uh, I'm a huge Rob fan, but you're right though. UK, they ain't been running the offense well. Like I said, they only had 10 assists. Normally they have 20. When they have 20, usually the ball moves a little bit better. The ball flows, and they get easier baskets, and they just been having to get a whole lot of stuff the tough way. So it was kind of disappointing, man. But hopefully they can bounce back. But anyways, guys, listen. I actually am late for something. I gotta run and go handle some business real quick. But I just wanted to make sure that I got a chance to talk to y'all, because I know it's been a little crazy this season, and I haven't been able to stream after every single game. But I wanted to make sure I at least got a little time with y'all today. But anyways, thank y'all again, and we'll get back at it next time. Sports and Discourse with Derek Stevenson. Y'all have a good rest of y'all weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl and be safe, and we'll get back to it.